Hey everybody, it's Tessa from Meyer Hatchery. It's getting to be that time of year when it's cold outside and we start to get nervous about our birds not being warm enough on those winter nights. But there are some things that you absolutely do not want to do. So we're going to talk about two things that are not important for keeping your chickens warm. And we're going to talk about a couple of things that you can do to keep them warm. So the biggest no-no in the world is the heat lamp. Now, do you see the dust on this? This has been sitting in the rafters of my coop all year. Now, it's the dust that settles on these heat lamps that can sometimes start a fire in your coop. And in my opinion, it's definitely not worth the risk. Your birds are built for this weather. They're warmer than us. I know when I get a snuggle with mine, they're warming me up. This is not necessary, and it's a fire hazard to your coop or even your home. So pitch them. Or save them for a worst case scenario, or for when you're brooding your chicks in your garage. But for winter heat, these are not the way to go. Now, the other thing that sometimes people use is something like a heating panel. Also, not necessary. Again, your birds, they're ready to go. Something like this, though it does come with a less risk of a fire, it is still there. If it gets dry enough and enough dust settles on there, this can also become a fire hazard. So I save these for when I'm brooding chicks or when I have juveniles that aren't ready to transition. But this is not necessary for your winter coop. So now that we've gone through that, what can you do to help your birds? Really, you just want to make sure they're comfortable. So in my coop, we use the deep litter method. Now that means that throughout the winter, I'm not scooping out all of our shavings every week like I would during the summer. I'm piling and turning. And the heat that's going to come off from that is going to help my birds throughout the winter. It should not have a smell, and it should be perfect for keeping them a little bit extra warm. So what you want to do is get your shavings right now, pack them up so they're about 6 inches deep on the floor of your coop. Now every week you're going to go in with your rake, you're going to turn that over, mixing in any of the poop that's in there and leaving it in. And then add more fluff on top to maintain about that 6 inches. That is going to produce a little bit of warmth from the decomposition of the manure, and it's going to make it nice and mild in here for your birds, and it won't harm them at all. Now that's a little less labor for you and a little warmth for the chickens. Fantastic. Something else you can do to help keep your birds warm in the winter is to feed them some cracked corn or scratch in the evening. That little carbo boost will help their body run a little bit more while they're going to sleep, and it actually increases their body temperature for the evening. One more thing you can do is other treats that are really great for your birds, like in the mornings, you can feed warm oatmeal. You can give them some of your leftovers that have been heated up. Just anything to help increase either protein or carbohydrates helps keep their body temperature up. Now, there is one thing you can do with your coop, and that's check it for drafts. Now, ventilation is key, no matter what time of year. But your ventilation is different in the winter because I'm not looking to let heat escape. I'm looking to make sure that the condensation that's inside my coop doesn't freeze to my birds and give them frostbite. So when you're looking for ventilation, there's a difference. Ventilation is going to be high in your coop. It's not going to be on the same level as your birds, while as drafts might come in through doors or cracks in the boards. So what I like to do, especially on coops that are pre-purchased, take a flashlight at night, put it inside your coop, and then from the outside, look to see where you can see those cracks. You can cover those with caulking or something as simple as like a plastic shower curtain, which is what I use on my prefab coop. It creates an extra barrier so that moisture's not getting in and neither is a big gust of wind. So once you check for ventilation, you get that deep litter method going and you feed your birds some extra good treats to keep them warm. You don't need anything else. If you have any questions at all or any suggestions, feel free to drop them in the comments. Be sure to click that bell so that the next time some of these videos come out, you're the first one to know. And be sure to subscribe to us here on YouTube or follow us on social media. Have a great day, everybody, and happy winter.